It's just an amazing place. This was the first school in the Highland Park Independent School District, opened in 1914.
It's been here for 100 years, and you have a bunch of people that grew up here and went to school here and then came back and are sending their kids here, and obviously it's gone on for generations. And there's some school pride that you just can't match.
And that partnership, I think, that develops between parent, teacher, as it's focused on student achievement, is so essential to helping our students grow and achieve, what they do. It's so much a part of the formula of what not only makes this a unique district and a unique school, but so much a part of the formula that makes for our outstanding student achievement here.
Highland Park teachers bring their A game every day, and I like that. We love children here. We're a school. We chose to do this with our lives, and so your children will be loved. But sometimes that love will look like someone who's saying, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Keep trying. Try harder, because I know you can do it. I believe in you.
I'm always excited when I hear that the school district has hired a former student that is here, and because they understand the work ethic that has to go into making a good school. It just doesn't happen without a lot of people working together.
We're given a lot of freedom and a lot of flexibility, and that helps us to do our job. I mean, if we're held to such tight restrictions, it's really difficult to reach that kid who needs that one special thing, or just do the best that we can.
And I think that all flows from the top down. I feel like even from the administration standpoint, they're always trying to make things better, not just keep them the same. And that influences you as a teacher, because we're constantly changing what we're doing to make it best for our learners.
You've got to change your way of doing things, change your curriculum, change your, to keep yourself alive and interested and going, as well as the students.
Most people don't become a teacher without having somebody who was a great teacher for them influence them. That's where it all starts, is seeing somebody doing a great job and being really engaged, and then it's so fun and great that you want to do that too.
My fourth grade teacher at Bradfield School, she was an excellent teacher. And she kept it interesting and lively.
And I think about that a lot when I'm in the classroom, and how my relationships are with my students, and how I plan my lessons and I'm in my classroom, hoping that maybe, one or two of them maybe someday would want to be a teacher too, because they thought it was so great, or they had so much fun, or they learned so much from the way I did something, because I know that's what triggered me to want to be where I am.
That gives you the bond of your grade school. And you may have not known that person in the grade school. They may have been that much younger, that much older. But once you say you went to Armstrong and somebody else did, suddenly they're your best friend, because you have all this history.
My husband grew up here as well, and I love the fact that we see his friends and his buddies from the 6th grade are still his dearest friends. And I love that my grade school friends that I see at the soccer field now when our kids are playing against each other. And just the friendships that are born out of this community are unmatched.
People just care about you and are interested in how you're doing. And it's not because of how much money you have, or who you are, or what your mom did, or what you do now, or anything like that. It's a true interest in friends.
My friends that I had in Armstrong went all through school with me, from junior high to high school, and they were lifelong friends.
We still have reunions, and we have them real often now because we're getting a little older. So yeah, I still am very, very close friends with the people I've known since we were 6.
Whenever you go to school with someone from kindergarten through 12th grade, you just know each other.
I could never overstate the role that the parents play in the school. The parents are the heart and soul of that school. On any given day, there would be 30 or 40 parents in the building, and not just serving lunch in the cafeteria or working in the library, but saying, you know, I've got a couple of hours every week. What can I do? What would create the most impact for children?
Wherever a child is involved, if the parents are there, it speaks volumes, I think, to that child that parents care.
PTA is huge at Armstrong, as it is at all the schools in the district, but we work a lot with the principal, obviously, the school in general, do a lot of fundraising, and we help with the bike rodeo and the carnival, we do an auction, we do all sorts of things throughout the school year that are benefiting, obviously, the kids in the long run. Hopefully they're fun for the kids, but obviously a lot of parent involvement just across the board and everything we do throughout the year.
I just love Highland Park. I am proud of Highland Park, so I like being involved in what's going on here.
And even coming back as a parent and volunteering in the cafeteria or the library or wherever you end up putting your time, you feel a real connection with that school you went to. And I can't tell you how happy it made me to send my kids here.
It does make it more fun when you know you're appreciated and you're loved so much. And, you know, if you need something at a moment's notice, you know, it can happen.
It's because it's such a small community, and so the parents are so involved. If it's between the sports, the cafeteria, they're just always involved in every school activity, and you can't find that very often.
I noticed right away what a neighborhood school this is. Every morning, just to stand out in the front porch of the school and watch the neighborhood arrive at school each morning, you know, is a very special occurrence, and I think it's probably been happening that way for 100 years now.
One thing that I remember and like that I still see today is walking to school. When I grew up, I walked to school every day. My brothers walked with me, and then my kids are doing the same thing.
You know the crossing guards that have been there year in, year out, and you see the same people every day doing the same thing. You walk to school with your neighbors, which, again, that's another memory I have. Same route, we'd pick up a bunch of kids on the way, and we do the same thing. We walk with the same group. It's just a lot of fun. You can't beat it.
It's just one big community, and I think it makes the child feel comfortable and feel protected and feel like a part of a community.
It's just an experience that could not be replicated because of all the parental and community and the support you get from everyone is just unparalleled.
I guess we all know intellectually that any one school is as good as another in this district. They're all excellent, excellent schools, but you just form a bond with that school that you went to that's hard to replicate.
There's a strong just connection, sense of place to this is my elementary school.
All communities love their schools, but Highland Park is really good at loving their schools. One thing that I think was monumental in the community was in the early 1950s when Armstrong Elementary burned to the ground.
And the fire trucks were going down the street. It was probably 7 o'clock at night.
When I went out there, it was just flames. Well, it looked like clear to heaven.
So it took about 1.5 years that the children were out of their building. But they still talk about those experiences.
We were the first class to graduate from this new school, and the school was so modern. It was just amazing going back because the other one was so kind of a Gothic-looking school, and this was modern, and it still, to this day, has held a really pretty facade on it.
When I was here, it was during the Second World War. And so we were all concentrating on, of course, our studies, but also on the war effort, winding up tinfoil balls and saving bacon grease and doing all that.
I can remember so vividly certain days, and I remember when I first moved to the district, I was in 4th grade. I was nervous about coming to a new school, And one of the first days of school was a hot August day, and we'd been out on the playground during recess, and we came up to the second floor to Miss Pomainville's room. And Miss Pomainville read to us from James and the Giant Peach, and the air conditioning was on, and I sat there and I just listened to her read those words to me, and that was the first moment that I really felt comfortable at my new school, and from then on, it was my second home.
Ralph Griffin was principal at that time, and the first year I taught in 1960, he was still principal. And I would see him in the summertime in his office working algebra problems to keep his mind alert.
Is that right?
That's what he did.
When I think about Mr. Griffin, the principal, when I was growing up, if I had looked in a dictionary, looked at the word principal, I would have expected to see his picture. He was the perfect school principal. He was very fatherly, not stern, but you knew he meant business, and he was just wonderful.
Mr. Griffin was principal when I was aide in special ed.
Oh.
And he would send little slips of paper about 2 inches long and as wide as a piece of typing paper. And on it was typed, "Please see me."
Oh,
and you knew if you got one of those slips of paper, it was not good.
Something was up. One thing I got to do when I taught second grade, Dr. Thomas would allow me to take my class over to my house. And on the first day of school, we'd have watermelon out in the backyard. And sometimes we'd have piano recitals for those that were taking piano.
The feeling of the school and the community is a family feeling. They really were. I know it sounds almost cliche, but it was my family for many years.
When Ma'am, we called her Ma'am, everybody called her Ma'am. Everybody, children, adults, everybody. When she was 100 plus, I don't know, maybe 101 or 2, why married Richie, the principal at the time here, found out about it.
We had one neighbor across the street from us, Mem.
Honey got Mem outside in the front yard, and they sang to her.
And our choir would go over there and sing happy birthday to her every birthday from the time she was about 95 until her passing at 103.
One thing she found extremely funny was the first day I came to work here in special ed with Mary Armstrong, who was a teacher. He was the special ed teacher here. And the next thing Mem knew was I was on her doorstep at lunchtime asking her for lunch money. And she told that over and over. I think she thought she'd gone back in time to when I was here in school.
Tradition is the one thing that you can always come back to. When I think about my childhood, I think about the big events. I think about the open houses, and I think about the bike rodeos and the picnics and the big events. And the learning is important too, but it's the environment that learning takes place in. And Armstrong has such a wonderful, welcoming feel.
The thing that's in my mind has stayed the same is the care and the interest in the students.
When the parents are positive about the experiences they have had in school, then they want their children to experience some of those same activities, or whatever we want to call them. They want their children to have the same privilege they did.
Armstrong has such a nurturing environment, and it makes all those special occasions that much more special.
I think love can be a tradition. People, parents, children have always loved their school here.
I guess one tradition that I absolutely love, this is a good tradition, is the parents, the moms, dads serving food in the cafeteria. I have vivid memories of my mom serving yogurt in elementary school, and now I get to serve my kids lunch, which I absolutely love and look forward to each month. It's a lot of fun.
We all know that when parents are part of the school is a better place for children. And I would love to see the children go through the line and they turn around and they say, It's my mom.
It's just fun to envision them doing the same things that I did when I went to school, going through the cafeteria line and having mom serve them and seeing, you know, playing in the same gyms. The gyms look very much the same. So I know they're experiencing days that were very much like what I had whenever I was here in the early 80s.
It's nice to have my kids where I was in such a comfortable, warm, cozy environment.
My second grader this past year, I guess, he had the same classroom that I had whenever I was in second grade, and I loved that. I thought that was kind of fun. It's just neat to have my kids go to school where I went to school and have them walk to school and walk in the same front door that I walked in and play on the same fields and, you know, come to the same library. It's just neat. Same art room, everything's the same. I love it.
You know, some people would maybe think that's boring or not fun, but I think it's wonderful, and I think it's part of the tradition here. I think it's part of what continues to make us so special.
People come back here for generations. You know, when you've come through this community, there's a lot of pride in place, and there's a lot of pride in bringing your family back here to raise your kids here. It does strengthen that sense of connection and pride.
My husband's grandmother, who's 100 now, went to Armstrong, and my husband's mother went to Armstrong, and then it skipped a generation. My husband went to UP, and I went to Armstrong. So we've got a strong family heritage.
And because of that, they feel so invested in the school. Those kids grow up hearing stories of how important Armstrong, how they're going to be an Armstrong Eagle.
I said, David, when he was little, I said, do you realize that's where your mom went to school? You did. You know, they always think you're never that young. But I kept telling them, and they are so proud that they actually got to go to the school that their mom went to.
I think the traditions kind of anchor us to our identity and who we are, but they also, you know, establish that standard of excellence that pushes us to the generation. You know, each generation has its own standard of excellence to establish that pushes us to continue to change and grow and be better at the next generation.
The expectation of excellence permeates this entire school district. Not everybody can be valedictorian, but everybody can make good grades, and everybody can achieve.
There is an amazing just standard of excellence that these students are put to, the people are put to.
This district is such a unique place in that the students are working hard all the time to do their best in their academic and athletic and leadership and extracurricular activities. The teachers are working overtime to make their curriculum interesting and accessible and engaging for the students. The administrators are focused on providing the support that the teachers and the students need, and the parents expect nothing but the best. And that combination yields the results that we get here, which are excellent.